With parent-teacher conferences coming up, it's important to understand the perspective of high-achieving students and how their workload affects them. I spoke with Alexis Schmidt and Julie Lamb, two students in the Accelerated Math, Science, and Technology program, along with Miss Missick, an honors and AP biology teacher here at the Frederick V. Pankhouse Center in Clinton Township, Michigan.
So I'm taking two AP classes, AP Chem and AP Calc, and it's been overwhelming the first couple weeks of school, getting used to it. But I'm just learning how to deal with it along with everything else I do outside of school.
Right now I'm taking 5 AP classes and no honors classes because I'm a senior right now, and it makes me feel like very overwhelmed, like at all times. I've never felt this overwhelmed in my entire life, to be honest.
Toxic productivity, as defined in Psychology Today, is an obsessive need to always be productive, regardless of the cost to your health, relationships, and life. In some students, there is a constant need to be successful in order to get into college and beyond. Toxic productivity can be a real issue, especially in high school students. But when does that motivational drive become too much? And are all the extracurriculars and AP classes really necessary to achieving that?
So I teach MST Honors and AP Biology. So our Honors Biology course is an accelerated biology course in terms of the depth that we go into and the amount of information we cover. And then the AP Biology class offered here is an upper level college class. So at the end of the year in May, they take a national AP exam, and that's graded on a scale of 1 to 5. If they get a 3 or higher, they get potential college credit for that class.
According to College Board, the AP exams are standardized exams designed to measure how well you've mastered the content and skills of a specific AP course. AP classes can be difficult and challenging for many students, but they also offer an in-depth content on different topics. But with classes like these, there is also a competitive nature that comes along with them.
There's such a competitive energy, like especially in MST, honestly. If you aren't extremely smart, there's a chance you will feel worthless.
I think that's one of the natures of the beast of MST is that we have overachieving students who do a lot of academic, a lot of extra things and hard classes, but they're also doing things outside of school, clubs, sports, other activities. So I definitely have seen a lot of mental health, issues arise over my last 5 years of teaching. I think students, hopefully we're trying to implement some strategies to help with that, but is it sometimes detrimental to mental health? I think it can be.
Yeah, I feel like mainly my weekends have been taken up by those classes, and it's like all I do all day is just studying for the test, and it definitely, it's definitely hard because it's obviously I'd rather be doing other things, but I want to get a good grade, so.
Class homework to do. I have so much calculus and physics stuff to do all the time, and I forget about things so easily because I have to have time in the day to relax. It's a must.
An article by the Washington Post, first published in 2019, states how high-achieving students are at risk for elevated levels of chronic stress that can affect health and well-being.
I'm like, oh my gosh, I did so much worse than everyone because everyone's smart and an honors setting usually, and you just feel really bad because you're at the bottom. I feel like people judge you if you get too bad of grades, and they'll be like, oh, you're not smart. I feel like parental pressure is so big. You'll just feel like a disappointment unless you do whatever good in school or whatever.
Even when I went to U of M, it mentally pushed me. It was hard, and I had a lot of anxiety throughout those years.
Toxic productivity can become an unconscious habit. Experiencing guilt or anxiety during downtime or setting unrealistic expectations can be signs of toxic productivity.
Myself, I do think that rigor and that just, again, time management, a lot of those skills really apply to college. Is it a make or break? I don't think so.
Sometimes you just want to live for yourself and not do calc homework for 2-3 hours a night every night. You just want time for yourself as a teenager.
Doing work for hours on end definitely can be draining, and when you have to make sacrifices like oh, like I'm not gonna hang out with my friends right now so I can do my homework. Like that's kind of sad, but also I try to go to as many like events as I can and realize that like it's not the end of the world if I get a bad grade on the test.
Although it is important to set high expectations for yourself, it is equally important to understand your limits and act accordingly. There is no need to push yourself to an unrealistic extent.
I didn't really want to take 5 AP classes that much. I just wanted to take classes, and it just turned out to be 5 AP classes. I just have to put a little extra work in it. I can do it. Anything's possible.